Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Vintage Story, Unearthed, for 120. So as much as I hate to do it, I think that I'm going to need to sometimes sleep. I know that the seasons are passing really quickly, and I like to get as much done as I can during the nighttime, but sometimes I just need daylight to work. And that is going to involve me today going out and getting a little bit more of the wood that I'm going to need. I don't see any more oak around this area. It's mostly maple and pine, and I'm kind of thinking I need oak for a lot of other things as well, so I might head back up to the northwest. In this area I know that there was a bunch of oak around here, and I might even see about getting a few other things while I'm out there. So I can already see a little bit of trouble, and I don't have a shield to actually work with, so I'm going to try to get a bit of oak and also avoid the trouble that I come up with if possible. I mean, they seem to be staying over there, but we'll see. That didn't go as planned. Well, I've got my stuff back again, and that includes my spears, which is a good thing to have on my hotbar. Once again, I know that the wolf is injured. I might be able to get a shot off at it. There it is. Hey, there we go. Alright, well, if I hadn't missed the twice with my previous attempts, I might have had better luck. For now, though, I will take what remains there are, and in fact, the bones I have from it, I'm going to turn into an axe for this tree chopping I plan on doing. Okay, apparently there's still yet another wolf nearby. I'll probably find out once it's biting my backside. There's the other wolf. And here's the tree that I want to take down. Well, I think I might have to actually fight for this one. Looks like the wolf has wandered off in this direction. So that's a good thing for me, considering that I am 0 for 2 on surviving wolf battles without my shield. I can't seem to be able to throw it. I'm either throwing over its head when it's charging at me, or I'm throwing really short when I'm trying to hit it from a good distance off. But I do need the leather, so let's try this again. Oh, it's running off now. This is a good sign. Got it. Okay. I was worried that it was actually going to get to the coast and then just disappear, so... This is one of the things I actually wanted to pick up while I'm out here, and that's even more cattails, because if I'm going to go heavy duty into beekeeping, I'm going to need as many of these as possible, so I'm going to collect all of the bases as well. It takes me a little bit longer to do so, and I left my scythe at home, but there aren't that many out here, maybe like a dozen. Ooh, what a haul. Okay, so I think I've had enough of this dying to wolves because they, like, hit me once or twice. It's time to actually put a little bit more armor on and to get a better shield, because my old one is more or less done for. There was, like, no durability left on it, and I don't know why I even kept it. But that being said, let's pick up these things, because I think they're all done. Yes, they are now pelts. There we go. Got all the pelts that I could need for the moment to make the stuff that I am requiring. So then let's grab a whole bunch of firewood. There we go, that should be enough. And start making some boots. I think it's like this, and then I put... It's not this many. Oh, and I need a little bit of resin. Oh, I've got the resin in the wrong place. Okay, that explains it. There we go. One set of lamellar leg covers. And then I believe if I go back, I've got the body in here too. Yep, I can just put this here, put the rest of the firewood in a different location, and then add in the medium pelt, which I think it takes 2. There we go. And that should work for giving me some level of protection. I mean, right now it's a % protection, but it does a flat damage reduction of 0.5 hit points per item that I'm wearing. So that's 1.5 hit points less damage per hit that I take. And considering that I don't have much health to begin with, that's actually really helpful. Now that's just the start, mind you. I think I'm going to take it another step further, and I'm going to make myself a tin bronze fancy shield. And by fancy, I mean it's going to be leather reinforced wooden shield. So if you look up leather reinforced, there's multiple different levels of shields. Technically, there's 2 levels. There's the crude one, which I was using earlier, and then there's any of the metal ones. And the metal ones all... which they also have extra like reinforcements on them, or you can have ornate versions, or you can have just all metal ones. The only difference between any of these ones is just the durability of the shield. So why not make it a little bit fancy? And I'm kind of thinking I'm going to make this one here. Leather reinforced wooden shield with some fancy colored leather. Why? Because I like it and I want to. And you can use any boards you want in this location. And I think this is a good way that I can show off how you can actually start making some dyes, and how you'll probably need a little bit of tin bronze working on an anvil. So it's a bit of a project, but one that I think that is going to pay off in the end, because it will give 100% block chance while I've got it active, meaning I'm sneaking and it's in my hand, and it will absorb up to 7 hit points of damage. Now let's look at this one. This is iron instead, and it's different colors, but I mean it's the same stuff. Still does 7 hit points of damage absorbed when blocked. So it's the same, you're just changing the durability on this, and that's really what matters, is just getting myself something better than the crude shield, and I think this one is going to do nicely, and I also really just like the style. So let's start by making some black leather. I've got 4 pieces of leather left, and it'll take me 5 liters of this black dye in order to make this. So how do I make black dye? Well, 10 liters of gray dye, plus either a rusty gear or metal scraps will get that. Well, how do I get gray dye? Guess what? It's the same thing twice. You're just soaking it in twice the amount of ingredients. So I just need 10 liters of water, which is 1 bucket, plus a few of those rusty bits, which I've got metal scraps and I've got some rusty gears. So I might as well use them both. That way I'm not using up all my money, because each one of these is like 1 money. So that's something that I definitely don't want to lose. Now, I only have limited barrels right now, so I'm probably going to make myself some new barrels. As I want to make 2 different colors, I'm going to make 2 different barrels. I'm probably going to end up using all of the material that's in there, or the liquid that's in there, but you know, I figure I'm probably going to store some dye for future me later on. So let's start with that black dye that I was talking about. Let's open this up, actually not while holding my bucket while I'm trying to do that, and put some metal scraps in. And then it says we'll turn into 10 liters of gray dye after 8 hours of sealing. So I can seal that, come back to it in the morning, add another rusty gear, another probably 8 hours, and it'll change over to black from gray. So how do I make orange leather? Well, I'm going to need some orange dye. In order for that to happen, I could use some onions and yellow dye. That would probably do the trick. And yellow dye is just made with onions, or heather even. Sadly, you can't recycle heather a second time in order to use that, but I am still alright with this, as I have plenty of onions right now. So 2 onions is all I'm going to need to sacrifice for this to work. But to start, I think I only need 1. Oh, but that's only 1 liter to 1. Oh, that's a little bit different than the black dye recipe. I totally overlooked that, so I guess I will need to use a whole bunch of onions. Well, let's add those in. There we go. 10 onions to make 10 liters turn into yellow dye, and then I'll have to do it again to get the other color as well. Okay, well, I'm just going to set those aside separately, and I'll come back to those in the morning. In the meantime, I have other things that I still need to make for this shield. That involves tin bronze. I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember how much I'm actually going to need of the tin bronze. I know it's going to be at least 2 ingots worth. And I'm looking at my supplies here and thinking, if I heat up 3 ingots, because it might actually take 3 ingots to make it, I could feasibly heat up more than I need and then just make an extra. How much do I have on this chisel? No, I could probably make another chisel or a saw if I need to. Oh, shears. Oh, shears, or yeah, I think that's what I'm going to make, a scythe, if I do end up having too many of these. Might as well just do that, turn it into a smithing project for the evening. I'm going to be a little bit risky and just use one piece of brown coal for all 4 of these. I don't know that that's going to be enough, but I am curious to see how hot it's going to get it. It might be hot enough that I can still work all of these items, but we'll find out. Now, if you do look up shield in this inventory system, I mean, sure, you're going to come across the crude shield somewhere near the top. You get all these different antler mounts as well, but there are several different levels that increase the type. Like, let's just look at the oak shield here. It's a tin bronze boss, a tin bronze hoop, and some wood. Then I'm doing the leather reinforced one, which is what I'm making now. That adds the 4 pieces of leather to it. Then there's also a full metal shield. Actually, I should say before then, there's an ornate version here that requires a sewing kit in addition to this, but that is also only available to the clothier. But you can also make the full metal ones, like I was saying here. Not as easy to find, but if you look at something, let's say this iron shield right here, it basically adds 2 iron plates instead of any of the other stuff, which is drastically going to increase the durability of any of these. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you really want to use the extra metals. In this case, I just want to be a little bit decorative, and I don't mind the durability loss. I'll probably end up buying another shield or making another one that I want to customize again in the future. Once I've worn through this one, of course. There we go, and now to put this down and start making, let's see, the hoop is going to be the most difficult one. Actually, making a shield on an anvil is actually quite challenging and difficult to do. As you see here, you've got to make a big circle with it, for example. Alright, first part done. Now let's grab another one, and hopefully this doesn't cool off too soon. This is probably one of the most unique ones because it involves multiple levels that you need to actually have this working. So let's get going. And there we go. I have enough that I could just make a plain old wooden shield, but you know me, I'm doing it a little bit more stylish. And you can see that these have cooled off. I guess I am going to need a little bit more fuel after all. And there we have it. I've got all the metal materials that I'm going to need. Alright, so I've currently got a ram over there, and I'm still waiting on some things to finish up, but I'm kind of thinking I'm going to take some of the oak that I just got and not just use it for making tannin or anything, but I am going to use it for making some of this rough-hewn fence, which is just really pretty in my opinion. There is regular fence you can make as well with planks, and it's probably a little bit more practical and less expensive, but I think I'm going to go with this because I've got some aesthetic in mind for keeping my animals protected. It looks like my fox eventually got out. Oh, I didn't put the protections in place on this one. Oh dear. All right. Well, it was worth a try. That fox was helpful while it lasted, but ultimately it was a bear magnet anyway. So let's see about doing something for this little fella down here. Before I get too carried away, though, I gotta keep up with the times on this. It just ticked over, and I now have some gray dye and some yellow dye, which I'm going to now turn this into orange, and I'm going to turn this into black. Seal and seal. Once again, it's going to take another 8 hours. Okay, so I've got this like little 9x9-ish area, and I can always do a little something to help improve the aesthetic on this one. It's going to be a little bit challenging to accomplish, but I think I can make it work. So I'll also need some gates so that I can get in and out, sort of like I've got over there and over here on the farm. So the next thing I'm going to do is make layers of sticks. It sounds a bit weird, but it should work out all right. It's just going to be a longer term thing, eventually giving the creatures protection that's in the area. But for now, I don't want to exhaust all of my sticks. I'm going to leave a little bit more than a stack of those. This is going to be a makeshift layer that I can use. So if I take a layer of sticks, which, yeah, it's just a bunch of sticks, I should be able to sneak and right click to place, and then if I can find the edge of it, I can place along there. And this is going to allow me to make kind of a makeshift roof. Depending upon how I face, of course, might make things different. And if you watch, when I break this, it just turns into a mess of sticks, which is, yeah, kind of a mess. But still, something that, like I said, I'm going to work towards in the long run. There we go. For now, I've just got this basic ceiling over top, and I can add in a little bit of, there we go, a little bit more support looking stuff. That's just going to keep any animals in here as well as any other animals out once I've got it covering the entire unit. It should also help to prevent some snow, I think. Actually, I'm not sure. We'll find out in time because snow is definitely something to be concerned about. Not that this is going to stop a bear from coming up the side and reaching in and trying to attack an animal inside, but it should give them a little bit of protection so that if they need to retreat, the bear can't actually get in there with them. So there's something else that I plan on making. There's small troughs, which really is only good for small animals, and then there's large troughs, which is more what I'm looking for, and I want to have a couple of those. So I'm going to take 2 of those, and I'm going to go put this out in that area, and probably fill in a bit of that spot so that the that ram can get out of there. Well, it also looks like at least one of the trees that I had planted has popped over here, and I should be able to chop that down for a little bit more wood. Alright, so in here we've got a lot of grass and a ram down below. Before I let him up here, I'm going to clear out all the grass in this area so that I can feed it to the ram. Why do I want to do that? Immersion. I have no other reason to do so, because honestly, it doesn't really benefit the ram per se. It might end up making the its drops if I were to kill it better, but ultimately it is a possibility. I guess there is a small reason to do so, and that is it will help to attract any female sheep in the area or ewes that there may be would come to a trough that is filled with food. So let's see if I can put this down here. Usually I put the other one right up against it like this. And if it's too close to the edge, then they can always hop up and get out. This might actually be a little too close. I don't really like that. But well, I'm going to do it anyway. We'll fill this with a bunch of the grass. And you see that it's got a bunch of portions in there. I don't have enough to fill it all the way full, but it is a start. And with how frequently grass regrows, it's a great method of feeding a lot of your larger trough feeding animals when you want them to breed, or if you're just trying to lure them in, and it doesn't use up any of your own food. Now yes, you can put a bunch of your own food types in there for different animals depending on the food, but in this case I'm just going for a bunch of grass because it's probably the cheapest and most common. There we go. 8 portions I believe is the maximum you can get into any one of these and then I'll just put a little bit extra that I had in there. I don't want to just totally destroy my scythe straight away. And now I just need to put down a bit of this dirt so that this ram can get out of here. That should be enough, that it'll be able to get up here. I do worry that it's going to get close enough to get out over on this side, though. Maybe I do need to extend this fence, like one layer on one side. Oh boy, he's coming up and out. Alright, there we go. Now I can put down... Oh, careful. No need to get all upset about it. I mean, I'm just trying to get you some food here. There we go. I think that's alright. I might even extend this one more. Alright, there we go. Put a little bit of food in here. And there is a way for other creatures to get in. And that's mostly back on this side. But not get out. At least not easily. And so if I put a bit of this here, I even take off this corner post for now. I can save this for the future because I want to see if this will attract any ewes to the area. I could put this here, and that should probably do it. Over time, it's possible if there's any ewes in the area that they might be attracted to this due to the food in there, plus the ram, which shouldn't be able to get out, but still may. As you notice, the fox got out of the crop field, which is kind of sad. But that'll do for now. I'm pretty happy with this little guy's pen, I guess, feeding area. He's got food. I feel like I should probably get him some water at some point. For now, he should be alright just getting the moisture from the grass. As he gives me this look like, what do you mean you're not giving me water? But I'm going to go check on those dyes and see if they are ready. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the bees. We'll probably be checking on those tomorrow. Oh, here we go. We've got 10 liters of black and 10 liters of orange dye. So let me go get some leather. And I believe I can put half of these in here, half of these in here, and then seal this, and it'll take after 8 hours. That's fine, because I was thinking I would probably take a sleep, take a snooze shortly, and then head out and check on the bees first thing in the morning. By the way, just making layers of sticks is an excellent way of just, you know, being able to store your sticks. It's just basically making a bundle in a way. So if you do need to compact your stick storage, that is one way of doing it. So here's the slight problem here, is that I just realized fences also have a blocking step on top of it. So you notice that this little fox friend is not actually going in. I need to have it one block above the fence in order for critters to easily get inside. Oh, okay. Well, that's something that I'm going to have to try and remember in the future. That's a simple enough solution that should take care of it. That should also take care of it over here. It's high enough that when they come over the top, they should be able to make it inside the gated area, or the fenced area. So it shouldn't be too big of a problem like that either. And with that, everything should be ready. Yes, I've got 2 black leather. I've got 2 orange leather. Both of these are empty now because I used exact amounts instead of making extras, but that's right, I didn't really have a lot to work with just at the moment. Alright, there we go, just making a few boards so that I have enough here, because I want the shield to use some oak. I don't know if that's actually going to change the aesthetic of it or not, but I believe I should be able to assemble this thing now. Let's take the orange and the black, plus some boards, and there we go. Right there, leather reinforced wooden shield. I don't know if this actually makes a difference doing that. Oh, it does. Wow, okay. Very specific recipe, but that's 350 durability, 100% block chance, and a 20% chance to passively block up to 7 hit points of damage just by having this thing on my arm. But that's projectile protection. Of course, it's a little bit different from melee. It's 90%, so there is a little bit of overflow, and the hit point is only at 4.5 instead of 7. So it's really good for ranged combat, and not too bad for fighting wolves. Okay, there we go. I also have a whole bunch of tannin going on out here that's ready to go. This is starting to get a little bit further on, and our friend may hopefully one day be getting himself a friendly mate. We'll see. If I see that fox, I might spook it back into my garden area. and see how it goes there. I'm not sure how it got out. I think it just kind of bounced and got lucky with trying to climb over. It's funny though that it just could not make it over that regular fence at the top regularly. Not that it was really jumping though. Oh shoot, okay, well hey, talk about ranged attack protection. Let's see. It's a little bit close, so I don't think it's going to attack me until it gets further away. Oh, those things are a bit slow to attack. I'll just let him go. Here we go. Yes, I blocked it completely. And of course, if you're using an all-metal shield, it's going to be a totally different sound. And actually sound very metallic when it hits. Nice. Feels good to be protected again. Alright, so I think it's time to go check on the bees, which I'm pretty sure have graduated at this point. But there is a little bit of preparation needed to do before going out there. Let me put this in here for now. And that is emptying your inventory. Because if the skep of bees is full, then you have to have an empty slot in your inventory to work with. Let's put these sticks in here. I've got spot for flint I can put up there. Okay, there we go. I have nothing in my inventory at the moment short of a few spears and stuff. Everything's on my hotbar at this point. So if I need to, I can remove all of these except for one, probably. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's just take all those off right now. And then I can come back for these once I'm ready. So I'm only going out with what I've got on me. If I need to throw something out, I guess I could throw out my my flint knife. Alright, I'm feeling a little bit better prepared. Yes, I still have that eyeball amulet, as you can see. But I'm feeling a little bit more prepared for going out into the wild. Perhaps I might be able to survive a wolf attack this time if one of them does get to me and I haven't ranged it down. So we'll see. But either way, I'm really happy with the shield. Looks really cool. Now to go get some bees. Alright, here we are. Looks like on my way out here, a har is moving in. If you're not familiar with what a har is, it's basically a really heavy fog that comes in, rolls in off the ocean or the nearby sea, and just kind of overwhelms and lays a blanket on the land. So I've experienced it quite a few times in Scotland. It's an amazing sight to see. But let's see how we're doing here. We've got a populated skep, a populated skep, a populated skep, and a populated skep. Look at that. Oh, so fantastic. And I could even just keep putting new skeps here. But for now, I think I'm just going to control right click, as it says here, pick up into a free backpack slot, not an inventory slot. I misspoke earlier when I said inventory slot. It is the backpack slots that I am in need of. And there we go. I now have 4. And I'm just going to leave this bee here, this beehive here. It'll be a great backup. I might even leave the flowers here and get some new ones from a different area so that I can have them for back at home. Now when I put these down, their populations are going to drop to being very poor and they're not going to have much in them. So I am going to need to get a whole slew of flowers. But first, I just need to get my bees home. Oh, and look at that. There goes a raccoon with berries in its mouth. Doesn't look like the berries are actually in its mouth, but I mean, it's proof that you can see these guys will steal your food if you let them. Oh, and is that copper that I just found? Oh, it is. I have to admit, sometimes this back and forth of using the raft to get to this northwestern area of the map seems a bit silly, but at the same time, I kind of enjoy this little tiny raft ride across this little pond or large pond, small lake. It's really relaxing, especially when I can hear the sounds of the water. Hey, I think I just got my fox friend back into my farm field. Yay! It worked. Okay, great. Oh, these crops are coming along quite well, or at least a few that are there. Okay, so I'm going to do something a little bit unorthodox and weird. I am basically going to take these populated skeps and try and put them in a basket. Doesn't work. You can't put them in there because they've got living entities inside. Don't want you to have that as a thing to do. So I just thought I would share that with you just so that you're aware of it real quick. But I do have to find a place to put them that's going to be somewhat safe. And that's going to be a little bit more challenging when my inventory is full. So I might have to actually drop a few things real quick. Oh, maybe I should eat the food before I take it out of my inventory. So I've been clearing a space out here. Remember where that one little oak tree was that I said I was going to take care of and cut down? Well, this is the spot that I pretty much am working with. I pushed it back, I cleared it out, did a bunch of just like digging and placing of a lot of dirt. Ultimately, I've got a lot of leftover dirt because I ended up digging down a bunch, and it is a little close to my ram area here, and yes, there was a bear issue. I ended up being able to take it out with some spears. I was not expecting to be recording that. I was just like, it's just digging. I don't need to record this. Well, guess what? A bear came up. I'm sorry. It happened. Anyway, I don't have enough space to store any of its drops, so it's staying in there with the ram. The ram did get hit a few times. The ram actually did help me kill the bear as well. It was headbutting it. It was quite interesting, and I really am sorry that I did not catch that. But still, let's continue on with making a beehive area. So that also reinforces the fact that I need more protection for my ram friend here. But I also need to be able to get him a ewe. It's really terrible, because that bear just walked right up to here, walked right over, and into with the ram. I have a feeling that it's just going to be a bunch of predators, and that I really shouldn't have the ramp there. That's probably a smart thing. Shouldn't have the ramp there unless I have the ewe ready and willing. Oh gosh, okay, wasn't expecting that. Let's put down a light. Boy, I'm just fighting everything today. Oh man, wasn't expecting one of those to jump on my face. Whew. Going back to what I was saying, I think I'm going to end up removing the ramps for the ewe because, or for the ram, because it's just going to attract predators like bears. As it's been shown, the bear keeps coming from this way, just wandering over. It's smelling some food, like me and the ram. Anyway, let me finish building this wall. I'm gonna make it too tall because I need the extra height. So I'll be back once that's a bit better set up. Okay, I wasn't expecting the ram to be in here. Weren't you just... Apparently you're able to just climb right out of one high fencing without a problem? I took out one of these because I found him outside earlier, and I thought that might have been like he was able to just climb from there up onto the roof, but I don't see how he'd reach it at this point. I mean, maybe because I just put that one there? I don't know. But it looks like I'm going to have to put the double layer for this guy as well. Oh my gosh, I really don't like having the double layer because then I really can't see them very well, but I suppose it's something that just needs to be done. And then maybe I can put, I can skip the roof of sticks in this case, just to keep them safe. So for now though, I am going to put you in here, where I was going to keep the bees. Ugh. And I actually didn't bring enough fence posts anyway, so I'll be right back. You know what, I'm going to do a little something here. I'm going to take some boards and make some wooden paths. If you notice here, walk speed is 1.12. Just means that I go a little bit faster. And honestly, there's a path that I've been taking that just, it's a lot faster to go. So I'm going to go with that and place these down as I am progressing. I feel it's probably a good idea to have this going up to here. And as you can see, I've got this little bridge that I've just made. That looks like that's all I've got. Oh, that wasn't as much as I thought it would be. Well, it's a start, and it'll probably extend and expand. I'm going to be putting some along here as well, and make a path going along here, maybe even going over to that, so that I can just get back and forth that much faster over time. Alright, so let's see if I can convince this ram to get back into his old pen, so that I can get these bees out of my inventory once and for all. Come here. This way. Oh shoot! He's... Whoa! Okay, that was really good. Okay, now... Yep, you're right here. Yeah, I see that. No, would you leave me alone? You're gonna kill me. Yep. I am so dead. Oh, okay, that's a start, I guess. Oh, wow. He was... You were tougher... Ah, the bear was easier to fight, to try and direct than you. My gosh. Alright, well, still, that should work. Okay, hopefully this will keep him in for now. I've got it too high for all the other sides except for the one side that has a roof. I have no troughs near the middle anymore. I've got it under the roof, so he can't even use those to climb up and over. I think I've got him contained now. I'm not 100%, but I think I've got him contained. As I progress with getting the roof over it, I plan on cutting out this second wall a bit. Perhaps. I'm not entirely sure. I do like being able to see him. Maybe I'll just do it on like 1 or 2 sides or something. But then I do worry if a bear comes over here, gets a hit on him, that he'll start trying to fight the bear back, and the bear will just kill him. I don't know. I mean, you witnessed. He's pretty tenacious. But let's get these bees down. I also did the rest of the path here, so I've got a little bit more speed to get to and from locations. I still need to get flowers, but... Oh, and I didn't bring any fence posts. I just put them back because of my lack of inventory. So I'm going to do something a little different for the fence posts for the beehives anyway. So this makes sense. I'm going to use some of my maple boards and some sticks to make the traditional fence post that is usually out there. So let's do some of this. There we go. That's the right recipe. And that gets me... Oh, 8. That's more than enough for what I need. I don't really need the rest of it, so I'll put these back. While I'm at it, I'll grab some of that cooked bear meat that I had left over. Getting over here actually is pretty quick now. I mean, it wasn't too bad before, but it's nice to have a designated path. Alright, so the plan is to have the bees. You can actually place them in the air, I will admit. You can just do this, and then, let's see, if I hold control and scroll with my mouse, I can then do this and place it. Nearby flowers, 0. Population size, 4. That's what it's going to say for pretty much all of them. And you can see the bees flying around it. If I want, I can even put more just right next to it, like this. Whoops, that picked it up. My bad. Let me grab a different one. Try. There we go. If I sneak at the same time, then I can place it. And you can just have them hovering in the air. You don't even have to have them on the ground. It's kind of weird, but you can do that. And personally, I don't like the immersion of it. So I'm going to kind of space mine out a bit in a bit more appropriate of a manner. Now, to get the most amount of flowers in the most amount of area, I'm actually going to have them pretty much all close by. And I figure, why not? I like to see them as well. So let's put this one here. And if I do this one here, and then if you really want to go nuts and cheaty and stuff, you could probably, let's see if I can even get up one block here. You could probably place one down on top. And, oops, I forgot to sneak while I was doing that, and then I just picked it up. And then it'll still be able to reach pretty much the same range for all the flowers I'm going to have in the nearby area. So if you really want to go like cheaty, then you can just stack your beehives, put a bunch of flowers down. You could even have like a layer of flowers underneath this earth floor, and I think that they'll even detect that. But I think that this is going to be sufficient. I want to fill this entire thing with flowers. It may end up just being 1 or 2 types to start with, but we'll see what I can come up with, because I don't even know that I'm going to find that many in the nearby area. At least not too easily. I'm sure I will find enough, just it's going to take some time. There's one right there. Alright, there we go, 1 flint axe. That'll last me 70 durability, so that would be, what, 8 by 8 in flowers, plus a few extra, plus 6 more? That would probably be pretty close. So if I use about the durability's worth of this axe, that should get me the majority of the flowers that I need. And this is just so that I can have faster harvesting. Now to just find a whole bunch of flowers in the area. It's going to help to re-equip my sacks and backpacks first, as well as bring a few items to help better defend myself, I think. Oh, we've got a moose. Alright. Whew, okay, that went a lot better. I didn't even get hit. And I've got a ram. Okay, well, it looks like I'm going to be eating good tonight. This is a pretty good find. A nice field of red top flowers. I've already got quite a few, but I figure I'm just going to get a whole bunch more because most of my flowers were consisting of the horsetail, which I would really rather you just use for healing purposes. I know it's the middle of the night and it's hard to see, but I have sufficiently flowered up my beehives. So I put the smaller ones towards the middle so it's just easier to see, and then the bigger ones out towards the edge. And then on top of that, I could probably even put some out here, and they would get those too. So I can just continue putting more around the outside. And it still probably will say 0, won't it? Oh no, it's noticing some of them. Yeah, this one's 57, this one's 33, 97. So you can see that there's a lot of patience involved with this. But still, in probably about 5 minutes or so, these are going to recognize all the flowers, which I think this one might already with the 97. That's pretty close. And then they'll be fast acting, and I might still be able to get one harvest before winter. And usually what happens is I'll leave one beehive in the middle to populate the rest. Maybe it'll be this one, I don't know, and then I break all the others from there. So anyway, bees are now set and done, and I think it's time to move on to some other stuff. This should be a fun night. And with that, I think we'll pause and end it here for this episode. Tune in next time for the continuation of Vintage Story Unearthed for 120.